The NCIS franchise manages to show how much Larry Jeffro Gibbs would depend on Abby pseudo even though they had not seen each other on screen for 12 years. A year before the flagship's 2023 pilot, Gibbs' MCRT squad made its JG debut. Some of the original cast members of the police procedural were already on the team at that time, including Polly Perret's Abby Pseudo, David McCallum's Ducky Mallard, and Michael Weatherly's Anthony Donoso Jr. Although they eventually played important roles in Mark Harmon's first team on the NCIS premiere, he had a unique bond with their forensic scientist. Gibbs' relationships with each member of his NCIS squad were unique. They were handpicked by him, and their professional and personal companionship made them extremely efficient at their jobs. Nevertheless, Gibbs and Abby had a distinct connection. The tough-minded head of MCRT had a soft heart for his forensic scientist who loved all things goth, including Caf Pow, a caffeinated beverage. Abby compensated him by becoming excellent at her career since Dad was always kind and protective of her. All's not lost from NCIS. Origins Episode 4 demonstrates that Gibbs also required her. As Mike Frank's team deals with a missing child who sees a terrible murder, Gibbs' case in NCIS. Origins Episode 4 resonates deeply with the bereaved parent. In the wake of the tragic murders of his first wife and daughter, Shannon and Kelly, he makes every effort to solve the case, including conducting a very exhaustive investigation. Sending different samples and objects to be examined by their forensic scientist, Woody, is a significant component of that. Woody is naturally overburdened given how many items Gibbs leaves behind, even before Franks and Randy arrive at the lab. This can be attributed to his extra motivated efforts to protect the little girl, but it's also a quality that he carries with him as he advances through the ranks of the organization and manages his own group. If anything, a major factor in Gibbs' MCRT's success on NCIS was his meticulousness while sorting through the material. Gibbs acted as a father figure to most of his subordinates during his tenure on NCIS. But he probably thought of Kelly, who passed away when she was just 8 years old, because of Abby's innocent sensitivities. Nevertheless, Episode 4 of NCIS. Origins emphasizes how much Gibbs depended on the forensic scientist's work to carry out his duties efficiently. Abby's supervisor, an evidence-based investigator, assigned her the responsibility of testing everything for residue and other hints that may lead to the identification of suspects. In order to fill in certain narrative holes for the MCRT, she occasionally even went above the norm and reenacted the whole incident. When Abby wasn't there to do her regular duties, the NCIS team occasionally found it difficult to advance their investigations. No one else was able to do the task as effectively as she did, even though she had access to the lab and several highly smart colleagues. Although Kazee, Abby's replacement, is nonetheless competent at her job, it might be argued that NCIS places less focus on the forensic lab's operations now than it did when Perret's character was in charge of them.